Good morning. We are currently heading into the 8th of April 2021 here across the Western Pacific. And today, a few things going on. Our cold surge still bringing those cloudy conditions across Luzon down towards Visayas, a few afternoon showers. But the big topic and really the bulk of this update is our tropical wave located towards the south and east of Guam here. Now, this is scrambled eggs right now. It is very disorganized, and that disorganization is going to lead to a high uncertainty in the forecast. That's the biggest thing I want you to keep in mind as I discuss what I am expecting or what we could be expecting over the course of this upcoming week. But for now, at least from a Pagasa, they do say from April 12th to 18th, there is a possible low pressure area out here in the Philippine Sea. Now, where is this right now? Well, as I mentioned, towards the south, it does have moisture that's being pulled in from the intertropical convergence zone, and that's really where it's going to be originating from. And not one of your classic kind of easterly waves tracking along here, but more or less evolving out of the ITCZ, pulling towards the north, and then we should start to see it spin up just a bit here as it moves north of 5 degrees latitude, because once you get north of there, you start to get the Coriolis into it. Right now, since it's so far south, it just doesn't have the spin with Earth's rotation to kind of develop this up. So it's just a loose, scrambled area of the thunderstorms. But as we look ahead, big thing is the uncertainty in our extended forecast. I know a lot of people have been sharing models out here, and at least at this time, the GFS is one of the popular ones being shared, and I'll share that with you in just a moment as well. But the key thing you want to take away from it, it is stronger, and it does show a storm recurving further towards the north, moving across the Mariana Islands. Meanwhile, the CMC and the ECMWF, and actually the bulk of most of the guidance, shows a west runner, but an albeit much weaker system. These are two totally different and drastic outputs here by the model guidance. And one of the main reasons for that, you can just see here, there really isn't a defined low-level circulation. It's a broad trough. So with that, the models are picking up on the formation in different areas. GFS a little bit further north and the ECMWF a bit further south. The GFS in recent storms has been the better storm at initiating systems. Now, this is just based on my experience over the past few storms, but it's just something you want to keep in mind here as well. Now, by the way, this is the 850 to 500 millibar streamline analysis, and we kind of analyze that to look ahead. Now, let's take a look at one of the models. This is the GFS heading up. This is about a week, over a week from when I'm making this update, by the way. This is all the way out to April 15th. And I show it because I know there has been some Facebook pages just sharing this image right here of a powerful deep typhoon near Guam in the Mariana Islands. That is one model. That's a GFS. And I'm going to explain in just a moment that you don't want to take this at face value either. This is the ECMWF2, showing a much weaker system closer to the Philippines at the exact date and time. Drastic difference in area and intensity, thus the high uncertainty in the forecast. But here's the thing. When you look at these models, this one here, this powerful storm and where its placement is, you got to remember with the GFS and the ECMWF and any numerical guidance, it's when the computer runs the output, it runs 50, 100 different outputs, and it kind of averages them all together, not only with GFS, but also the ECMWF here. And when you kind of lay that on a graphic, it's what we call an ensemble output. And it's actually very useful when we're trying to determine what the forecast is going to be here. And this is the GFS ensemble through April 15th. And you can see here, every single one of these L's is where one of these different runs kind of places the low pressure center, and the latest run from the GFS kind of averages this whole mass together, and it shows where that center of circulation is. If we had a concrete forecast, the model was, yeah, I get this, I'm certain this is where we're going to go, these L's would be stacked on top of each other. For example, look at these thermal lows out here, maybe across western China. You just see how these are all stacked on there. You can even see that low and that high pressure right there, but watch the low moving off the coast of Japan. See how stacked those L's are? Then here, it is spread out all over the place. And that shows a high uncertainty. And I'm stressing this graphic because I think this tells a lot of the story about why I keep on saying at this point, we cannot say it's going to hit your house just yet. I think everybody from Guam, Rota, all the way out through maybe even Palau to the Philippines, needs to be watching this storm system. There is still, I mean, not a lot of time, but there is still plenty of time to continue to watch it. In a few more days, we're definitely going to get more concrete if those ensembles come together and if the big numerical models start to agree on what we could be expecting here. But we really need the development of a low pressure center, not just that broad trough, but a defined center of circulation. Remember, the storms this time of year are not unheard of, though. We have had them this time of year. ISOC just a few years ago, I mentioned this in my last update, was a super typhoon right about this same time. Actually, it was a bit earlier in the year, late March, we had a super typhoon out here. So they are possible. By the way, speaking of super typhoons, John, Ron, Adam, Jim, David, thank you everybody for been helping me out on Patreon. I keep on stressing it, but if you guys want to check out the link down below, I'm this close to getting graphics like this from Metro Weather Company out of New Zealand. Very, very close. I just need a little more base to get the base computer. The base computer is about $15,000. It's a lot of money. Once I get that, I've actually worked out a pretty good deal that this part would be affordable. But you can't run these graphics on a regular HP laptop. It just won't work. You need a workstation. So unfortunately, I've been really pushing for that Patreon or donations, which you can find at the website, to really try to build up the fund to get this. It's getting there. Got a lot of other things going on in my life too, so I can't put too much money in out of my own. I'm putting a bunch in, but I can't buy it straight up. But if you guys want better graphics like that, I definitely need help. For now, though, I mean, this works. I just think we can make it that much better. Follow me on all these social media platforms if you do like these updates. And, of course, as always, if you got any questions, anything like that, let me know. And stay safe out there.